Hi folks, welcome to my top 200 games of all time. This is the final edition before I get into my top 100. This is numbers 110 through 101, and these are the games that made the short list that just missed out on getting my top 100. Number 110 has been in my collection since the very beginning of this list, and it is the game that got me into board games. It is Zombies by Twilight Creations Inc. And this is basically roll and move, play cards. You're trying to kill 25 zombies or make it to the center of the helipad or do whatever you need to do to beat any of the millions of expansions they have. I love it all. I want to buy the big box, but it's way too expensive, especially with shipping. I just want that big empty box just to put all my expansions in. I think that'd be great. This game, there's not too much to this game. I see no one who has this anywhere near their top 100, much less a top 200, but for me, it's always had a soft spot in my heart. When I first made my list, this game was number 9. It was in my top 100, my top 10, in fact, and it will never be that high again. But through the years, it went from number 61, then to 84, then it just fell out of the top 100 at 104, and it's never been back. It was 135 last year. This year it goes up 25 spots. We did get to play Zombigeddon, where you combine all the expansions. I was going to do a Zombigeddon Part 2, but that did not happen. Some of my original group left. They went their separate ways, moved away, and whatnot, so I lost them all, but we didn't do a Part 2 of Zombigeddon, which would have been great. They were supposed to have an expansion come out in their 10th anniversary or 15th or 20th anniversary, I think it is. Edition come out later on this year. It's not going to happen due to COVID and all the shipping stuff, which is sad. My little girls will be featured in the next expansion. They have their own card coming out, so that'll be cool. I have a good relationship with the owner of the company. We've talked several times. She knows my children and everything, and I've always loved her games. I've always loved this game. I've always been thankful for this game that got me into board games. And though it does sit right outside the top 100, I don't know, who knows, maybe this new expansion will put it in the top 100. I know if I continue to play Zombigeddon, for some reason, Zombigeddon is just so much fun. It's so much fun. We used to do it every year, and we haven't done it in the past couple of years, but this year we decided to sit down and play, and we had a blast. Want to do it again, which would have been awesome, and that's usually how I get to play all through the games now, is through Zombigeddon. I don't sit down and play a regular game, but there was a time years ago where I would play this every weekend, guaranteed. So lots of great memories with this game. My number 109 is in its sophomore season on my list. It started off at 133. And then it rocketed up my list. I mean, 24 spots just to fall out the top 100. And that is King or Queen Domino. And you decide which one. I'll be honest, I played King Domino more than Queen Domino this year. But that doesn't mean I like King Domino more. I think Queen Domino is more, I don't know, there's more choices, I guess, more strategic in a way, but King Domino is so simple and so much fun. These were games I saw on a lot of people's collections. I thought, that's not that good of a game, it's just dominoes. Oh, but man, is it fun. We've had a ton of fun playing this game over the past year now, and playing it again, my nephews love the Giants expansion. I can go with or without it. Really doesn't bother me, but they want to say, we play with the Giants expansion because they want to play with the screw you tiles, which of course you want to do that. More interaction between players. But Queen Domino gives you that interaction too. So either way, both of these games, whichever one you get, you're going to be in good hands. They're awesome. They just missed out. I mean, it surged up my list, but fell just short of the top 100 here. My number 108, again in its sophomore season on my list. It was 139, and I was shocked that it even made my collection, because this is a game, I do not like heavy Euros. I hate heavy Euros. And that I had a game in my collection that was a heavy Euro was a shock to me last year. It made the short list, folks, of getting in the top 100, and that is the Colonist. I have played this. This is like if you play the whole 4 eras, you're talking about a 6-hour game. We're talking like Twilight Imperium time zone here. We've not played this once, but twice this year. And at the end of the year, there is talk, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but they are asking if we can do it one more time too. 3 times in 1 year. But I gotta be honest, I love this game. It is a heavy Euro, something I generally tend to avoid. It's too meticulous, it's too boring, it's too, whatever. And I don't know why. I keep coming back to this game and I love it. I'm thinking about it right now when I'm talking about it. And I did struggle. I said, is this a top 100 game? We did play it twice, a 6-hour game like that, Very rarely, I wonder if people play all 4 errors more than once in 1 year. This game I see incredibly cheap. People are basically just giving away this game. You can get it for like $30 or less most times, and it is definitely worth that price. It is an incredible game. And I mean, I made the prediction last year that this would not move up any higher because it is a heavy Euro, yet it climbs up 31 spots, and now I'm like, is it actually going to make my top 100? I have no idea, but this is just an awesome game, and it goes against everything I hate and love about board games. But it's beating the odds and coming up short at 108. 107 has been in my collection for 4 years. It's hard to get, and I hate to put something out there like that, but Burger Boss. I love it. It's just dice placement. It's a simple dice placement game with a great theme of building burgers and serving customers. You're building up your restaurant, engine building in a way. At first, you can barely get one order out the door, and then by the end of the game, you're like, okay, I can fulfill all of these customers' orders. Are there any other customers I can get? Because I can fulfill them all now. The game ends just right, because that's the last maybe 1 or 2 rounds. If you've been playing smartly, then you basically have everything unlocked and you're going, full guns blazing. By the time the game ends, everyone should be all guns blazing at the end. Everyone's looking for more customers. So maybe the game should take 2 rounds, go 2 rounds shorter, but that being said, Burger Boss is extremely fun. Like I said, simple dice placement. This could even be a gateway game. It's kind of hard to get, and it's not worth the price I see people trying to sell it for, but it is a good game. The first 2 years, it made the top 100 on my list at number 82 and then at 98. It slipped down to 122, but went back up 15 spots, just barely outside my top 100 again, because I love dice placement. There's nothing super special about this, but the board, it's very colorful. I like the carrying case is an actual plastic container that looks like a hot dog, a hamburger, where all the little levels hold dice, cubes, coins, the money, the cards, whatever. I just think that's really cool. So everything about this game I love. Burger Boss, my number 107. Number 106 has been in my top 100 for 4 years straight. This year is the first year it falls out, just barely. I cannot believe, I'm shocked. Thrash and Roll. I love Thrash and Roll. Dice placement, heavy metal, your heavy metal group. It's got a great theme. It's so much fun to play. You're rolling your dice and placing 1, 2, or 3 die in an area to get bigger moves. You're recording singles, pushing that single up the charts. You're recording albums, pushing that album up the charts. Slinging rumors or beef against other players, and it's just putting scandal cards on other players too, and improving your instruments and improving your talent along the way. So many different things. And then, once the last few rounds of the game, you can even go, dare I say, Turing with Turbo. This is a great game. It does have a mini expansion, Stage Heroes. I never play with it anymore, even though all it is just a special ability in the game. The one time we brought it out, it was last year, 2 years ago, we never even played with that special ability. Everyone forgot about it. So you really don't need that little mini expansion. And they're not making this game anymore. They're not going to make, I know there was a expansion a long time ago going to come out with a 5th player and stuff. I was so excited because I want to have more players to play this game, but that's never going to happen now. And the game is basically kind of hard to find. If you can find a copy, it's really good. It has a heavy metal CD. I always play it once, and then that's about it. But I love, and the artwork is it has a theme of heavy metal. Everything's great about this game. So why on earth did it drop a whopping, here's how it's been on my list. For the past 4 years, 16, 17, 19. This has been a top 20 game. Then it dropped to 42, because this is when I noticed something about the game, and now it dropped 64 spots. I only played it once this year. And the time I played it, I did not have fun. I'm not having fun with this because the iconography on the board is so daggum hard to understand. You can constantly forget what places do what at what number die. Like, what happens if I go to the bone breaker for 1 die, 2 die, 3 die? What happens if I go on the radio for 1 die, 2 die, 3 die? You are constantly looking up the rule book. Every time through the first half of the game. And I noticed that last year that I was doing that a few times. That bothered me, it irked me, so I moved it down, because the iconography is it's so confusing because it's different than what the rule book says. I don't know if that's just a misprint that they had on the first edition of this game, but either way, it makes things very confusing when playing it. I haven't figured out to make I'll try to make notes, like a quick cheat sheet, but still there's so many areas on the board. That's a lot of notes, and I just wish the iconography on the board made the game simpler. This game definitely needs a reprint to make that, to change that board iconography on it, and it would be back in my top 100. But I couldn't in good conscience say, oh yeah, this is still my top 100 game, just based on how I love it. There is a problem with it, and it only got to the table once. So therefore, I decided to push it out of my top 100 this year. We'll see what happens next year. Who knows? But at 106, the great and excellent game, Thrash and Roll. These next 5 games have always been in my top 100. This is the first year that none of them are in it, so this is kind of shocking for me. But 105 is Archon, Glory, and Machination. It's been in my collection for 3 years now. It was number 79, then it went up to 53, and now it dropped 52 spots out of the top 100. We've had a great time playing this game. It's worker placement, but with cards, and you're playing a card, and that's what that signifies, whatever that worker is. There are regular cards. There's a lot of regular cards you start with your hand with, but eventually you're going to be upgrading these cards or adding more cards. They're going to be special. They have special abilities, and all of them are good. The Taxman, if you go there first, anyone who goes to that same area you just went to has to pay you a coin. Money is super tight in this game, so that's very important. In fact, that's such a huge worker there, you can only get 2 in the entire game. The rest of them I think you can get 4 of. One they have, I can't remember what he goes by, but he is one. He's like the El Grande worker. He can go on an already occupied space. You get the Merchant, which gives you extra goods, which you need. You have to have a Merchant. And then the other one is the Scribe, which I thought he's not that important. And man, I suffered bad by not getting a Scribe early in the game, because Scribes give you back-to-back actions, which can be really good and really needful. It can make or break your round for you. I've also had a lot of good experiences in playing this game. We also have it's courtiers, or the basic plain white cards you play, and I think I mentioned this when I first talked about this game. We kind of mispronounced the name as worse and as loud and obnoxious as we could. But anyway, the game was number 79 when it premiered. Like I said, went up to 53, went down 52 spots for 2 reasons. One, I only played it once this year. And the time we played it, it was late at night. It was the last game of the night, and it just went a little long. And I don't know why. We started at a decent time, and there should have been plenty of time to finish it, but for some reason, this game dragged out. And of course, the experience, the number of plays and the experience having, that kind of made the decision for me to drop it out of my top 100, because this game was dropping. It was free falling in my top 100, and I did question whether I should put it in, but looking at all these games, I went, well, I played these games more, or, I had better experiences playing these games. So for that reason, even though I love the game, it sits just barely outside my top 100 at 105. Well, this wouldn't be a top board game list without me mentioning Queen games at least once in this video, and this is the one Queen game that has fallen outside of my top 100 after this is its 3rd year on the list here, but now it's 104. It is Airships. Airships is an older game by Queen Games. You're basically rolling die and upgrading your die, and your player board is grabbing cards which give you more upgraded die, which give you different options. The cards are different colors, and you can only have one of each color on your board, so you're constantly upgrading things to get points, to get, to upgrade die, to get bigger points, and so on and so forth. The game is very unique. It's a whole lot of fun. It's got a weird airship theme, but still, it's really cool. You look at the cover, you think, oh, it looks kind of boring. I don't know. Trust me, It's a what's it called, dice building game, and it's so much fun. It is so much fun. The first year on my list it was number 75. It dropped to 85 last year. This year it just falls out of my top 100. It fell 19 spots. And mainly because, just like a lot of these, even though I love the game, I realize it only got played once this year. Me and my wife sat down and played it. She had a fun time. In fact, she actually won. But then after that, I never got it back out to the table. So when making that hard choice on which ones get cut and which ones make it in, this one got cut out of the top 100, but still 104, not bad. My number 103 is a game that has bounced. It's been in my list for 3 years. It started off at number 172, and then last year it made the top 100 at number 100. It really soared up my list. I was like, wow, this is a great game. And this year it drops just 3 spots. It missed that number 100 there, and that is mainly because of new games. I can tell you that. Groves, bag building, game that's very underestimated. I think no one knows. It's underrated, and you're building because you look at the cover and it looks like you're talking about trees or something. No, it's about fairies, and different colored fairies can activate different pieces on your board, and you're trying to get these resources to buy more pieces or octagons on your it's basically roots to your tree, but more places you can place fairies and collect different fairies, and there's different strategies for different fairies you want. Maybe you're working with a lot of blues, and that's what you need, because blues can activate everything in your tree, or greens or yellows, or you can get a black fairy which can screw other opponents and interact with others and give you victory points too. There's a lot of different strategies in this game. It's a beautiful looking game, and the first time I played it I just kind of ranked it really low, and last year I was like, what was I thinking? And this made it into my top 100, and this year it almost got that number 100 spot, but just missed out. And I guess that's just a few new games added to my top 100 eventually just pushed it out. But still, Groves, excellent game. Number 102, another one that's been in the list on the top. It's been in my top 100 for 4 years. This is its 5th year, and the first year it's not in the top 100. But at 102, it just barely missed out. It is Biblios Dice. Oh, I don't even have Biblios anymore. Everyone loves Biblios, the regular game, and yeah, it was fun, but Biblios Dice, way better. I got rid of Biblios years ago because I was just playing Biblios Dice. It's dice selection, and you're going, as you're selecting die, you're moving up certain areas on this board, these little ladders or something, and of success, I guess is what it is. And so you're trying to move all your cubes up to get victory points at the end before the game ends. It's so neat, it's so smooth, it plays really quick, and we all love this game. In the past few years, it started off on my list at number 67, which was the highest it ever made, and then it just kind of bounced around. It was 75, then 97, then went back up to 78. Now it falls 24 spots. I don't know why. I don't have a reason for this one. I don't like it less. I mean, I didn't get that many new games to push it down, but just other games just exceeded it, jumped over it, so to speak. But Biblios Dice is one that I never hear anyone talk about, and I believe it's the superior game, but I am definitely a minority on that. So which game did not make my top 100? And the thing is, this is another one, and I say this because you would have asked me last week, it was number 100. And then I switched it out right before filming these. I said, no, it's 101. It's a new game I added to my collection this year, Dinner in Paris. Oh my goodness. So much fun as you are placing terraces, buying buildings, getting money, getting resources, grabbing cards to build more terraces or get more buildings, get area control in different places, or get certain patterns to get bonus point cards in the deck, covering pigeons to get extra bonuses. There's so much going on here, but it's just 3 simple actions you have to choose from. That's it. Now, the reason, and I love it. It looks beautiful. We played, the Paris music when we were playing the game, and it's wonderful. But the reason it did not make my top 100, which I do love this game. AP, again, when you have 3 easy actions to choose from, and that's all you build a building, grab cards, collect cards, or build a terrace. That's it. That's all the choices you have. And the game group, the whole time, just sitting there. It took like 5-10 minutes for some. They just sit there thinking and thinking and thinking. And when it came to my turn, I did my turn immediately. And then it came back to them. They're like, you only got 3 actions to choose from. But that is just a really sore spot with the gaming group I had, because if it's 3 easy decisions to make, brain goes in lockdown. That's where analysis paralysis comes in. And this game took double the time. I think it took 2.5 hours to finish. I was like, what the heck? And it was just way too long. And I remember they were going, wow, this is a really long game. Yeah, because you can't decide what to do when it comes to be your turn. So yeah, because of that, because of the AP, I did push it down to 101, but I still love Dinner in Paris. So who knows, maybe with the new gaming group, it'll finally get back in there. But anyway, folks, that is my top 200. My top 100 is coming up soon. It's going to have a guest star with it, and you're going to see a different format with these. So I really can't wait to get to those, and I will see you then.